In this video, we'll look at adding and subtracting like fractions. Like fractions have the same denominator. Unlike fractions have different denominators. The denominator in a sum or difference is called the common denominator. The steps to add like fractions are we simply add or subtract the numerator and keep the common denominator. And then we simplify if possible. For example, in addition, notice that the denominators here are the same, so these are like fractions. We simply add the numerator, a plus c, and we keep the same denominator. And with subtraction, a over b minus c over b is equal to a minus c. Again, we subtract the numerator and keep the same denominator. In this first example, we're looking at addition of like fractions. Remember, like fractions have the same denominator. In order to add or subtract, we do have to have the same or common denominators. And here we're simply going to add the numerators. 3 plus 4 is 7, and then we keep the common denominator. The denominator stays the same. In example B, we have 7/25 plus 8/25. Again, recognize the denominators are the same. We have common denominators. So we can add the numerator. 7 plus 8 is 15. And then we keep the common denominator, 25. And in this case, we can actually reduce this fraction because we have a GCF of 5. 5 will divide evenly into 15 3 times. And 5 will divide evenly into 25 5 times. Which means when we reduce, we get 3/5. In example C, we have 3 fractions. Recognize that they're all like fractions because we have a common denominator. So we know right away when we add, the denominator is going to stay the same. But we add the numerators. 1 plus 3 is 4, plus 11 is 15. Now that we've added, we can see if we can reduce this fraction. Notice 15 and 20 have a GCF of 5, so we can reduce. 5 goes into 15 3 times, 5 goes into 20 4 times. So when we simplify or reduce, we get 3/4. In example 2, we are subtracting, finding the difference. Again, recognize that we have common denominators. So we're going to subtract the numerator. 7 minus 2 is 5, and then we keep the common denominator, 5/9. In part B, again, we have common denominators, so we can subtract here. The numerator, 17 minus 5 is 12. We keep the 18. And we can actually reduce this fraction. 12 and 18 have a common GCF of 6. So we'll divide 12 by 6 to get 2, divide 18 by 6 to get 3, and when we reduce, we get 2/3. In example C, we have 3 fractions, but recognize all of them have a common denominator. So we can subtract here. We know that the denominator is going to be 24. That stays the same. The numerator is where the subtraction happens. 19 minus 5 is 14, minus 4 is 10. So we have 10/24. But this can reduce. Notice that both are divisible by 2. They have a GCF of 2. So we'll divide 10 by 2 to get 5, divide 24 by 2 to get 12, which means this fraction reduces to 5/12. In example 3, we have subtraction. Recognize that the denominators are the same, so we'll keep the common denominator of 28 and look at the numerator. -5 minus 15. Negative 5 minus 15 is negative 20. So we have negative 20 over 28. And now we can see if this reduces. Recognize that the GCF of 20 and 28 is 4. So we'll divide each of those numbers by 4. 20 divided by 4 is 5. 28 divided by 4 is 7. So when we simplify, we get negative 5/7. In example B, recognize that we have common denominators. And look at this, we have negative, negative. Remember, when we have negative, negative, that's really a positive. So we can think of this as 24 over 42 plus 10 over 42. We can do that, change that double subtraction to addition to help us right away. Recognize that the denominators are the same. So the common denominator is not going to change. That's still 42. And looking at the numerator, we have negative 24 plus 10. Negative 24 plus 10 is negative 12. So we have negative 12. And now looking at the numerator and denominator, let's see if this will reduce. Both of those numbers are divisible by 6. So the GCF is 6. We'll reduce using that. 12 divided by 6 is 2. 42 divided by 6 is 7. So when we simplify, we get negative 2/7. In example 4, we are making a substitution before we simplify. X is 7/50 plus y, which is 13/50. So we're adding these two fractions. Recognize that the denominators are the same. We have like denominators or common denominators. So the denominator stays the same. And we add the numerator. 7 plus 13 is 20. And this will reduce. 20 and 50 have a GCF of 10. So let's divide 20 by 10 and divide 50 by 10. And we get 2 and 5, which means this simplifies or reduces to 2/5. In example B, we are again making a substitution. We have negative 10 over 81 minus y, which is 17 over 81. We have common denominators, so we know the result will have a denominator of 81. And now let's subtract. Negative 10 minus 17. That is negative 27. And now let's see if this will reduce. 27 and 81 have a GCF of 27. So let's divide each of those by 27. 27 divided by 27 is 1. 81 divided by 27 is 3. So when we reduce, we get negative 1/3.